Hi everybody, it's Dee Slater with Create with Dee. Welcome to my Wednesday Night Live at 5. I'm so happy that you're here. As always, when you come on, if you're watching this live, say hi, say where you're at, and I'll try to, say hi back to you on that. If you're watching the recording, I'd love for you to still say hello and let me know where you're from. And as always, as the video goes along, as the class goes along, if there's anything in here that you like, please give it a thumbs up, a heart. And if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel or like me on and follow me on Facebook. All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to make a Z-fold card that's called a, well, I'm calling it, I'm sure there might be another name, but it's a full front Z-fold. These are, I think they're a little unique and they're so fast to put together. And I've got some tips along the way with maybe coloring some of your flowers and everything. And so, and then also some accessories for the Take Your Pick tool that you may or may not know about. So lots of little, nuggets of information here at class. Hi, Pam. Thank you so much for saying hi. I appreciate it. Okay, I am going, before we get started anymore, let's get over here just a little bit. I did want to announce, again, a few things. One is I am starting a monthly club called the Creative Club, and that's where for $39.99, you can have a class kit mailed right to your home automatically every month. It has at least $20 to $25 worth of products so that you can use on the class, and then plenty to play with afterwards. So if you're interested in that, please check out my website at createwithdee.com and see all of the information about that. Also, me and my Stampin' friends are holding Stampapalooza again this year. We had about a 4-year break on it, and it's coming again in September. So information will be on my newsletter. And so if that's something, and what Stampapalooza is, it's a whole day, a lot of different crafting projects and things to spoil you. So if you're interested in that, please make sure that you're on my newsletter. All the information can be found in the information on this video. And then also the last thing is that today is the beginning of pre-order of the holiday catalog for us demonstrators. So whether you're a hobby demonstrator or you like to share the products like myself, we can order from the new holiday catalog. So if that sounds like fun for you, it's one of my favorite perks. And you've ever considered about joining Stampin' Up and you think that our personalities would match, I welcome you to reach out to me and we can talk a little more. Okay, let's go ahead. I'll turn the camera around and we'll get started making our Z-fold. Hi, Marge. Thanks for saying hi. Okay, so this is this week's class. So if you place a $40 order on my online store, you would have enough material to make 4 cards, 2 of each of these. And let's go ahead and we'll see what all of the goodies are. This is a great, great design for mass producing. So with your designer paper, especially the 12 by 12s, you can whip out something like this in no time on it. So this is just kind of an example of what we're going to be needing here today. Get all of my goodies out and around. So if you get the kit, what you're actually going to get are 4 pieces of the Fresh as a Daisy designer paper cut up 4 by 6, and then you're going to cut it, and I'll show you how you'll cut it here in just a second, and what we'll do with it. We get all of this stuff organized here. Okay, let's do this one first. So we're going to start a Z-fold. We're going to make one that's kind of in the horizontal landscape here. And we are going to score it at, this is cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score it at 2 3/4 inches and 5 1/2. So if you can do those 2 simple score lines, you can do a Z-fold all day long. And I'm going to go ahead and get these all nice and burnished. I'm going to take my bone folder and get these lined up a little bit. I like to get those crisp edges on a Z-fold. It just helps it to fold that much better. Get nice, super crisp edges. Okay, so for this one, this color combo, I'm going to use, again, this is the Fresh as a Daisy cut at 4 by, and I trimmed that down to 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to keep this other piece left over from our 4 by 6. And we can go ahead and just glue that down right away. I almost wanted to do this side too, and then just to kind of mix it up, but I just love the daisy side, so I'm going to do it. One of the things I really like about this paper is that, yes, we made it, you know, all summer long and spring, but because of the color tones, I think it's a really pretty fall class or fall option too. So just like what I'm going to be making next week, it's kind of like a transition piece where we're not quite ready to do fall motifs, but you know, we might be a little bit past doing beach now that it's August. All right, and I can go ahead and so here's the Z-fold. That's where we get the name Z-fold. And what we're going to do, we're going to cover with adhesive this whole front panel here. All right, so I'm going to take my liquid glue. You could use your Stampin' Seal Plus. I've got some friends that they love tear and tape, and so you know, you put your tear and tape on that. And then we're going to put our card front. Oh, I didn't give you the measurements. I'm so sorry. So the layering pieces here, I layered it on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of, this is our wild wheat cardstock. It's one of the new in colors. And I just always think of it as a new neutral. So that's a full front Z-fold. So you think it's a normal card, but then it stands up. All right, so let's do some of the techniques that I wanted to show you today. So super, like this is where I'm saying, like, you could so mass produce that, right? So you had your, you can make 6 of these out of 1 sheet of designer paper, and you could really go to town with it. All right, so here are some tips and tricks on tonight's class. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring in this. All right, so I used the Cheerful Daisy stamp set and dies. It's a bundle. And I thought what I would do, so here's what, you know, it looks like. We're going to tear apart this one right here, or cut apart it. But I wanted to show you this. This is the take your pick tool, and you're probably like, Dee, that looks like some crazy contraption. What is that? This is an accessory piece. It's a brush that's used for taking out, or that you can use with your dies. So here's your take your pick tool that you normally have. And this head screws off because you can replace the putty on it when that goes bad. But then this is a multi-tool where you can buy this accessory. And I'm going to show you where it's at in the catalog. It's kind of hidden. It's a hidden gem in it. But so here's a brush that you can use to really get in and get those intricate pieces when you die cut it punched out. So, and then what's kind of nice is you've got your pokey part on the other end. And so it just really, you know, makes getting our intricate dies cleaned up very quickly. And then it's, you know, it's just a interchanging tool head on that. So let me show you where that's at in the catalog. And quite honestly, I had to really search for it too. I knew it was in there, and you can find it online. But if you have the catalog, I wanted to kind of show you this. So on page 145, in the catalog, here's the take your pick tool. And then here are some other accessories, like there's a like that's like a ticket maker, like where you can tear off, you can make it into like a knife on here, and some other blade replacements on it. And then if we go to where the die cutting accessories are at, here at the bottom, there's the mat that I use, the it's the take your pick brush tip. And then you also get 2 mats when you get that. You get foam pads with it as well. So I thought I just would kind of share that in case you hadn't really, it hasn't run across your radar just yet. All right, let me bring in the sample here. And as you can see, I've got the daisies all colored in, or like I've got them accented. Now you could do that with your blending brushes or other method of doing it, but today I'm going to break out our daubers and show you a super fast way that you can add color to the daisy dies. So I'm going to get out my daubers. I've had this little organization case forever. I think it was I got it, there was a scrapbook store that had them, and I've had that forever. I'm sure that there's something on Amazon or some other place that has it. All right, so first I'm going to take the wild wheat, and I'm going to take my dauber. Oh, I know what, let's go ahead and we'll cut these apart. Sorry, I was so excited about showing you guys where that stuff was at in the catalog. I'm kind of off my steps here. So I got my paper snips, and we're just going to just snip apart the flowers. That's the beauty of this, that you can have one big unit or separate them out. And for both of these cards, I'm not going to use this one, but you could so incorporate that somewhere else if you wanted to. And I'm not going to use the leaf on this one. All right, so we have these 2 daisy flowers. So I'm going to take my dauber, and I go in the corner of these to pick it up, and literally just pounce. And pounce in the center, and that's colored. And now I'm going to get the Moody Mauve. That's another color in that designer paper. I like to go on the corners, and there's actually quite a lot of ink on that when you do it, and I'm just pouncing on the outside. So just pounce, 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 and I can come inside a little bit as the ink gets off of it, and then grab a little more, and I want to really hit the edges to accent the outside of it. Look how cute that is. Isn't that the easiest coloring? Oh my gosh, get your daubers out with this die set, everybody. I think you'll really like adding color to it that way. All right, so you could do it with your blending brushes too, but I kind of like the pouncing technique here with my daubers. Have you guys, let me know if you've ever done like this before. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of do that. I'm gonna bring the designer paper in. I wanted to leave some white on the daisy dies just because of the white flower there. So I didn't want to, you could if you wanted to color it all the way, but I did want to kind of leave a little bit of that white left on there. All right, so we got that. And while I have the Moody Mauve out, I'm going to grab what we'll stamp on the inside. This is a piece of basic white cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to take the one of the images from Cheerful Daisy, and I'm going to be using the sentiment, your friendship means everything. And then also on the other card, wishing you the brightest birthday. I'm going to be using this. And if we want, we can do the same technique on our flower. So if I just kind of pounce around the edges of it, and maybe lightly come on the inside, but then really accent on the outer edges. And I'm going to breathe on it. It's called huffing, but it's a crafting huff. So I'm just going to breathe on it. And then you can see how that has that variation. and then stamp. Oops, did not stamp very well. Let's try that again. Let me do that again. That's why we don't glue it down until we're all set. I'm going to go inside just a little bit more. And let me bring in my, got a little mat that I'm going to put underneath of this. Let's try this again. I'm going to breathe on it and press. There we go. Still has a little halo on it, but I am so all about that. All right, so remember I said that you'll get in your class the 4x6, and you can take that and cut it down to the 5 1/4. And so you're going to have this 3/4 edge left over. We're going to put that on the inside of our card. We're going to decorate that. So do this. Put this over on the other, on the left side or the right side. Line that up. I'm a liquid girl, glue girl, so that's what I'm using. Oh, and before we leave that, I'm going to take the dauber that I had the wild weed on. It still has ink in it, and I can pounce in the middle. So that's our inside. Let me get this closed up. Maybe just put off to the side for now. Oh, and one more thing, I guess before I close that, I'm going to get the sentiment. This is a label that's included in that bundle, in the Cheerful Daisy bundle. And I'm going to get the Your Friendship Means the World, or means everything. And we'll get that lined up. Now we got our stamping done. Okay. Hi, Carol. Carol from Connecticut. Thanks for joining. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we'll put this card together. So this is going to be the inside of our card, of our full front Z fold. Again, by using that little extra that was on the, since this is a 12x12, there's absolutely no scraps left if you use all the one whole sheet for this kind of a layout. So I love that. And ahead of time, what I did is I took a piece of, oh, I should have waited to glue that down. Oh well. This is from the Stripes and Splatter 3D embossing folders. You get both of these. And in your kit, this is going to be a 5 1/2. And I think I just had this scrap in here. It's this one happens to be 1 5/8. Yours will be 1 1/2 on that. And that's how our other one's going to look too. And I should have done that before I did this down, but we're just going to go with it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. What I meant to show is that you would need to cut it down to size. That way it gives you a little bit extra, but I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to just glue that approximately in the center, since I boo-booed on the timing of how to cut it. We'll do it with the other one. And we'll cut that. And I'm going to go ahead and use our Stampin' Dimensionals and pop this up. Have you guys made the Z fold with the full front on it before? I was trying to think if I ever did, and I'm just, like, at this point, after, you know, paper crafting for all of these years, at least a good 20, probably 25 now, I'm sure I would have, but normally I don't do a full front on it. So I came across somebody's design and I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. All right, I think I was telling you that I've got nothing but tips in this one. So I want to pop up this this daisy, and I want to use our dimensional foam dots on it. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to go ahead and put the dimensional on it. Now that is showing through, and that would actually be a little sticky if you would go to stack it.
but we're not going to worry about that. What we're going to do is, before I take the backing off, we're going to take our good old dauber, and if we pounce on that again, we can take the stickiness off of that. And so see the where normally it would, you know, be sticky on that side, it's not. So just, you know, add a little ink to that with your dauber and you'll be all set. And let's put this one up this way. I've made these daisies before, and I actually used the die cut to, you know, to have the backing show through. But it was just a step that I skipped this time by doing that. And let's see here, I've got, ahead of time, I went ahead and tied a bow with some linen thread. And I'll grab a glue dot. Get my take your pick tool, get that, put that on the back. And I think it just kind of gives it a little organic look to it. All right, and so that's our, that's the Z fold. That's the full front Z fold. Oh, yep. Definitely you can do the embossing buddy, Carol. Carol said to take your embossing buddy and go over the top of it. You can so do that too. But that's our card. We're going to make the other one exactly the same way. I'll just go a little faster. And just kind of showing you how we can play with some of the color elements in it. Okay, so that's our first card. Okay, so then our next one, it has this beautiful, pretty peacock in it. The copper, oh goodness, what is it called? Copper clay. I always, sometimes things come out of my mouth crazy. I want to call it, you know, copper coral, and I know that's not right. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue down, leaving the ends a little bit off. Whoops. And what I'm going to do is on this one, I'm going to just play around with the positioning. I'm going to put it a little lower. And there again, like when you get it in your kit, you just can trim off the back side of it. So that's how I meant to do the first one, but you know, no big deal. All right, so then we'll very quickly put this one together. So again, we've got the designer paper cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then we're layering it on a piece of coordinating cardstock, pretty peacock, that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 for our card front. Start out with our card base, a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of pretty peacock, and I've got it scored again at 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. I'm doing this on, I did it on purpose just to kind of show that once you had your design that you wanted to do and you did a little prep work, how fast you could put these cards together. So we're just going to put 2 of them together, but I think you could probably see how you could really have fun with this. Okay, here's the sentiment. And we'll get our layering piece in here. I can go ahead, I'm not going to put a floral image on this one on the inside. I'm just going to put the leftover designer paper because again, we took our 4 by 6 that you'll get in the kit, trim it down to the front of the designer paper is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to take this 3/4 inch strip that's left over and put it on the inside. I'm kind of speed stamping right now. That's what it feels like, but it's kind of fun. All right, so again, we can get this. And it's just always amazes me how different colors just totally make a different feel to, you know, to a card. You know, it's the same layout, the same look, but different tones just really make it different. So now I'm going to use the birthday sentiment on here. And use the label that came with the in the bundle, the die set. Again, it's Cheerful Day or Yes, Cheerful Daisies die and stamp set. Oops. So now what I'm doing, we're going to do the same thing that we did before. And I'm going to go ahead and cut apart the die that I've already done ahead of time. Just again to remind everybody, it's die cut. It die cuts all of this as one image, so you can use one big image, or you can snip apart the images and use them independently, which is what we're doing here tonight. All right. Over time, I've kind of allocated different daubers for different colors, and but you know, you can sew. You know, you don't need to start out with 1,000 different daubers if you haven't done that yet. Okay, so I'm going to use the colors, and this particular design is the Pretty Peacock and the Lemon Lolly. Love my Lemon Lolly. Bounce, bounce, bounce in the center. Bounce, 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 bounce in the center. And that's all for the Lemon Lolly. And get our Pretty Peacock. Bounce, 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 bounce. You know, sometimes when you stamp, it's just about entertaining yourself as you go. Oh my goodness. So, you know, come in just a little bit. You know, you can even kind of do a little brush looking technique on it. And then I'm going to come over here and do a pounce, pounce, pounce. And come inside a little bit, maybe a little more. Again, keeping just a little white coming through. And I'm going to use the leaf this time. And guess what I'm going to do? Pounce, pounce, pounce. All right. All right. So there's that. Okay. I think we got everything on that one. Okay. So on this one, you know, I can get into a rut of putting things in the same place. And so on purpose, I try to say, like, where else could I put this label and have it have a little different look? And so we're going to put our sentiment. Going to pop it up again. I'm just getting over a sinus head cold, and my sinus pills or my thing are releasing. And I've got my Kleenex handy. And like, it's just, I've got drainage galore right now coming. And we'll go ahead. And then what we want to do is take the backing off of our foam dots so that they actually stick onto our card. I'm going to put that up here. And now this time I'm going to put just some glue on the leaf. And I'm going to put that towards the bottom here. And now we're going to do our same thing. And Carol, if I had my embossing folder close, I would so do that too. But if you don't have your embossing folder handy and you want to take that tackiness off of there, we're just going to grab our daubers and we'll pounce, pounce, pounce again on the center. And let's see, we're going to put this one, excuse my arm. I'm going to put this one over here and put this one here. And then if you know if you are going to hand deliver this too, it's like it's kind of fun to kind of squish these up just a little bit and make them even more 3D. All right, let's bring in the cards here tonight. So this would be your the class this week. You would have enough to make 4 of these full front Z-fold cards, and you'd be all set. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around here so I can say bye to you guys. All right, so I hope that you really enjoyed class here tonight. I know I'm going to be using this this fold for upcoming holidays that I might want to do. I think this would be a really beautiful fun fold to make your holiday cards out of. And I think it's because like they could just sit on somebody's shelf so nicely. but I'm getting ahead of myself with thinking about Christmas when we're still enjoying summer. But I just love how these cards turned out for what I'm calling kind of the in between of the seasons, when we're not quite ready to give up summer, but we're not quite ready to go all out pumpkin just yet, when we have some cards that we need to send. All right. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in live. And if you're watching the replay, please make sure to say hi too. All right, everybody. Have a great Wednesday and the rest of your week. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.